Do you know this word? Your English is bad. What does apart mean? What about if I put H, is it E or I before? E. I-D. If I add that, what does it mean? Separate. Separate what?
But equal.
Sorry?
Separate but equal.
Okay. Separate for equal, that's not good. Yes. Segregation. Separating people because of the color of their skin. Now, what color do you think I am? I can't hear anything, I'm just hearing rumbling. What color do you think I am? Yes. Brown, that's very kind. Yes? That's not a color, is it? Let's not be political correct here. I want us to talk about the things that we know and what they are. Don't change it because I'm standing in front of you and then you say I'm brown to make you feel good. That's not the whole point here. What color do you think I am? Yes. Black, like my shoes?
A little bit. You like
How many colors of black do we have? Yeah. So if I'm not right, if I'm not black like my shoes, what sort of black are we talking about? Yes. Negro, I like that word. Let's keep that word there. I'm coming to that. So, you say I'm black. What color are you? Right? White, like that's jumper there?
Kind of a beige sort of color.
Right. Let's not be loud. I'm coming to this with good intentions. Don't be political correct. Don't think I'm going to tell him what I think he wants to know. No, we want to talk about things as they are. So, if I'm black and some of you are white, there must be something wrong about, are we colorblind? Okay. Talk to the next person to you, but don't go loud, because loudness doesn't allow debate. It just allows noise. So talk about these things. Me being black, some of you being white. What does that mean? Talk to the next person. So, black is a color, right? Yes. Same as Negro, right? Yes. Negro is black in French and Spanish. Let's be honest. Spanish, French, Negro is the color black. So we have a problem, don't we, when we describe people because of the color? Yeah?
Yes.
And that problem becomes apartheid. So imagine growing up being segregated because of the color of your skin. So it means I wouldn't be mixing with some of you guys that are so-called white. There will be buses and toilets. Yeah, the toilet is a very good example. I wouldn't go in a toilet that is written white only. What is there in the toilet? And some of you wouldn't go into a toilet written black only. What's there? Is there, you know what I mean by toilet? Restroom. It's what you call it here, right? We don't go there and rest, do we? I understand that terminology. We are not going that route. So, when does the word Negro become derogatory? You know what I mean by derogatory?
Not necessary.
Yeah. When does it become? If you are talking about someone being black, when does Negro becomes negative? Yes?
When you're talking about like the type of person that they are, just based on that they're a negative.
And then you say nigger. Don't worry. The best thing to talk about this is not to think about anything. Let's just have a debate, because we have a problem that you think, I am not going to call this guy a nigger, but I'm going to think it. And you don't say anything. That is the worst thing. That's the worst racism you do, when you think about something and not say it. So when we talk about that word nigger or negro here, it's better, because I know the way you think, and I can tell you the way I think. Right? We have a problem because then we say, there is Caucasian. You know this word Caucasian?
Yes.
Yeah, this is how I grew up. There is Caucasian, and there is Asian people, and there is what they used to call colored people, which means mixed race. And then there will be African person, which in other words, in Zimbabwe, because of colonialism, you know what the word colonialism means? Yes. Yeah? What does colonialism mean? Yes?
When the other advanced nations come in to take over a primitive nation for their own good.
I like the word primitive. Do you actually use that? Do you actually use the word primitive, or you are saying that's what they used to think?
That's what they used to.
Yeah, I like that. And you know, I'm not going to ask you, I think you guys know about the history of slavery.
Yes.
Now, what's the difference between slavery and colonialism? Yes?
Well, slavery is when they take colored people and they force them into labor. And colonialism, is when they take over and they take everything that they want, but they don't force it.
And they bring this system we're talking about. Yes?
She said colored people when she was mentioning slavery, but really it could be anybody. Like when the Nazis took the Jews for the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And forced them.
So what's the difference between? Oh yes.
Well, when you colonize somewhere, you are taking.
Let's listen to this.
You're taking your own beliefs and your own way of life, and you're basically bringing it into a different place, and you're just living the same way you would back home in this new place. And with slavery, you're taking different people and forcing them to work for you and to do the things that you want them to do, and not let them be their own.
And you basically don't give them rights.
Exactly.
Take advantage of them. So do you think, because sometimes people say they went to Africa and took slaves. Do you think that's correct?
No.
What is correct? Yes? They forced them, that's not what I'm looking for. Yes?
They went to Africa and took Africans, because when they were in Africa, they weren't slaves. They were
I like that. When people were in Africa, they were not slaves. Africa is not full of slaves. Was not full of slaves, right? It was full of people. And then people went to get them and made them into slaves. And not only Africa, you mentioned about the Jews and the... But you know, apartheid system is some kind of disease, I think. And it all comes with those 4 classes I told you, that Caucasian, Asian, colored people, African. And that, in that order, that means the African person would be low. And all I could do really is come and work into your house and cook for you and wash your clothes. And you would call me, there's another word called kefa. Look, you go look for this one, which basically means something like nigger. Now here we've got a thing. If I go and do a tune and I put on my bling bling and then I say, hey you, check out, I'm a nigger. And you guys, you buy this tune and you put it in your headphone, you say, this music is cool. Is it cool because I'm calling myself nigger?
No.
But what makes it cool to other people, let's be honest, because some of you think that is cool music, right? Including us niggers as well. So, is it good for me to call myself that?
No.
So what is the intention behind that? To sell the records? Do you think that's the reason? Well, I don't think you guys know the reason behind that, because everybody thinks different. It's not like the thing that will be said, yes?
I think that people would do that because they want other people to think that they're like instead of taking it like they're hurt, like they're like okay with it and like
I think I understand it to be that. It's like before you call me nigger, I call myself nigger.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you think about it, like when people like say that if they were like being bullied, I guess when they're like being called different things, like they call themselves that and to like make it go against like what the people are doing, so it doesn't look like they're hurting them when they're just hurting themselves.
I know. So is that good?
No.
So I don't have it. Yes.
The word nigger, does it mean the same thing as Negro?
No.
So there are 2 different meanings. So when you say nigger, that's like friend. Oh, you're cool. But it doesn't make it right to say it.
Does it mean really your friend?
Yeah,
Do you think?
it's supposed to mean that, but it doesn't
Really?
come across that way.
So I come and I see you, I check you out in the street. I say, hey nigga. Is that what you're saying? Is you're saying I'm saying you are my friend. Let's have a debate about this rather than shouting around. Yes?
Well, like, some people mean it that way, but if you walk up to, like, some random person and be like, yeah, and say that to them, they would, like, they don't know what you're talking about, so, like, you should
Well, they might know, but they might understand something different.
So, like, people have started calling people that to mean they're friends, but ultimately it does not mean that.
Yeah.
So, some people
can also take it like when people say that to them, they can say like, I don't know you, you don't know me.
And why are you saying that? So, and then in that context, what does it mean? Yeah, okay. Yes?
It like depends on the region and who you're saying.
Yeah.
It's to. If you're just walking up to some random
It's a regional thing, right? Well, I just wanted to clear the air there that nigger doesn't mean a friend, depending where you are. But if you say that, if I'm coming from Africa, I look at you guys, I think you're African American people. There's no color there. But what I'm saying is the ancestors came from Africa and they were made slaves. Maybe they were not. So this idea of them calling me black or nigger or negro, for me, I'm thinking, well, are you saying color? So if you think, I go home to my home, and I will describe, you can go home and say there was this black guy who we went to a school and we saw a black guy from Africa. And that would make sense to a lot of your parents, right?
Yes.
What about if I go home to England? My wife is English. And then what do I describe you like? I went to work with these black kids and white kids. So I've got a white wife. You see the problems? Because of the colors? Right. So I was growing up in a church called Salvation Army, in that apartheid system. I was supposed to go to Sunday school every Sunday, because when the missionaries came, they saw that people were communicating with their ancestors in those ceremonies I was talking about. Do you remember? We go back. You remember? And they were bringing the Bible. So they told the people that they were worshiping the devil. So this music was banned. And some spirit mediums, you know what I mean by spirit medium, right?
Yes.
Some of them were hanged and killed. And some of them were put into prison. And the music was banned. Of course, when you tell me not to do something, I'll do it underground, don't I? And that history I'm talking to you about is 1897. The whole history of Zimbabwe as a country is based on a woman spirit medium who was called Nehanda. She was possessed by a spirit of a man, and she was resisting from colonialism. And they thought, what kind of a woman is that? And they hanged her. And they cut off her head and took it to England, because they wanted to look at the mind of this woman. So they didn't believe in spirits. And they thought, all these things you are doing, singing for the whole night, singing primitive music. You remember the word you used? That was all primitive music. You are worshiping the devil. So we're going to ban this music. And we have to go to church. And when we sing in the church, when that same spirit of my ancestor comes in church, then they say it's Holy Spirit.